Hello friend, in this video we are going to see how you can apply a metadata driven approach in your data solution using Azure Data Factory. So for example, in this screen you can see that we have a few business outcome, for example 1, 2 and 3, and there is a possibility that it can have a different business outcome or new business outcome which can have a same type or different type, and it can have a different operations or filter conditions or source or target types. It can have a different target file extension or something like that. It can use as a API call or dynamic 365 or Salesforce or something like that as a source or as a sink. So this is overall requirements, so it should be generic pipeline, and in near future if we apply any changes or we have new functionality or new requirements or new business outcome, then it should work and build very quickly and very efficiently. So let's see in business outcome what we have. So we have a source as a database, which is Azure SQL database, and we have a sink as a SFTP. And you can see that here I can have a one table or 100 tables. I can have let's say 100 tables or more than that, and operation can be like delta load, full load or something like that, but here we have a full load for some tables and delete operation for some tables, and we are selecting selected columns from that particular table rather than all columns, and for some tables we are using all columns. So that is one, and we are deleting data from that particular table based on some conditions for that table. So for example, deleting account history table where data is older than 90 days. So we only deleting data for that condition from that table only. And for this table, we are not creating file in a SFTP. So this is my business outcome 1. In my business outcome 2, I have a similar things, but instead of target or sync as a SFTP, here I'm storing the file in a blob storage. So similar, it's have all things are similar except it doing full load for all tables, and here also they have 100 tables, and it can do similar things like all columns or selected column, and there is a no anywhere condition for delete operation because there is a no delete operations. So these are the similar things for this business outcome 1, remaining things. And in business outcome 3, we have a slightly modified. Our source and sink are same as here, but we are doing a delta load as well. So it's doing full load, delta load, and delete operation. All three we doing in business outcome 3. And in another pipeline which can be needed in near future, which can have a different data source and which can have a different types as well, and you can see you can configure for Azure function, you like you calling Azure function, or you calling the series of APIs or CRM 365 or Salesforce. So this is overall our requirements. So how to manage a list of business outcome like this in this requirement efficiently and optimally using a generic pipeline or a generic functionality in Azure Data Factory. So that is a today's topic. We will see demo for that, and the same idea applies in Azure Synapse Analytics, and you can use for a Microsoft Fabric as well. So first of all we need to design our config table based on our business outcome. So that is the one thing we need to do before we designing actual pipeline. So first of all we need to design a table, config table, and then we need to load the data if we're doing full load or like that. Like for example, we're doing full load for two tables, then we need those two tables in that particular location. It can be in a table storage, in a blob storage, it can have a blob storage itself, or it can have in database in SQL, like SQL database. So those things we need to configure and have a data correctly in first step. Next step, we are going to design a pipeline which should be generic one, and which data based on a metadata which we have stored in a table. So let's see a table design in my notebook plus plus. I think it's here. So based on what we have requirements, based on that we need to configure table here. You can have more than one field as well here. You can add more columns as well here, which you think it's uniquely identify each business outcomes, and it help you to design your pipeline. So for example, we have this is primary key, we have spec code which is uniquely identify each business outcome. So we have three business outcome at the moment, so it will identify business outcomes. And then we have a source and target based on that particular business outcome. So for first business outcome we have a SQL database, and we have a SFTP. So we have a particular source name, we have its type, and where condition in case we need to filter for doing update or deletion or something else. So that's why you can specify where conditions here. Operation, which is it can have a full load, delta load, it can do delete operation, it can do update operation, and it can execute SQL store procedure or something else. So this field is for that. List field, which is like you selecting columns from source, and you selecting all columns, or it can have a selected columns only. So that's why here you will see list of fields. Directory, which is a path, it either can have your container name or it can have your SFTP location. And target file extension means in a case you are storing a file in a block storage or data lake gen 2 or SFTP, then you need to give a file extension. So it can be CSV or like that. And this field specifically based on functionality. So I need a generic functionality, and that is sending email. So for this business outcome, do I need a email functionality or not? So that's why I have a field. So same way you can do here more fields based on unique functionality. Here you can have so many things. You can have like how frequently trigger your pipeline. So you can have a configure field for that as well. So that is table one. However, when I need to do a delta load, so I'm not doing delta load for all tables for that business outcome. So that's why I have created another table which is a delta load table. So here I will have a spec code ID. Here I have a main window start value, which is like today I have run my pipeline, and today suppose it run for 100 records, and when it's run tomorrow again, then I only and only need data from today and tomorrow's between. I don't need that 100 data because it's already loaded. So for that you can use either window date, which is if you have a created date or something like that in your database on that particular table, then you can use that, and you can do based on that as well. So for that you can add here main window start date and end date. So between those date you can fit data, or you can do based on primary key. So here I have used based on primary key, but you can have a window start date and window end date as well based on that. And this one is every time when data updated here, this date will be updated. So this is a second table, and specifically used for only and only for delta load. And this is my third table, which is based on functionality, because I need a email functionality, and not all pipeline needed email functionality, or not all tables or all file when process we need email functionality. So that's why it's only for particular scenario we need email functionality. For example, I need email functionality for delta load only. So that means in that particular business outcome, not all tables or all file need a delta load. Only a particular table need a delta load. So for that I need a email functionality for that business outcome. So for that, here you can see that you have a spec code and spec code ID. So this is the unique ID for that business outcome for that particular table or file. Yeah, and these are the normally we need few parameters like from where you get email to CC custom message, any customized message like your pipeline is then successful, your pipeline has failed success failed so you give that kind of the message. You can have attachment. So if you need a attachment when your pipeline successfully run and is stored a file in a blob storage or SFTP or data legend 2 or somewhere else, and you like to have attachment after successfully run your pipeline, and you like to send your email to business users or operational user or like that with that attachment, then here you are storing like you storing the path as well as you storing that it has attachment. So this is of one field if they have attachment, and if they have attachment then there should be path also here, which is actual path for your blob storage or SFTP or maybe data legend 2 or something like that. So this is a very basic one, but you can add more features, like you can add here more field regarding title. You need a different title, or you need something else, errors, so you can have that field as well. So this is a very simple one. So that is a three table, which is a config table, and this is just a design of those tables. And now we need to add. Now let's start demo. So in this screen, you can see this is my blob storage, and you can see that at the moment, let's check which container we are. So we are using cricket dates in container, we are using movie days in container, and we are using SFTP. At the moment, as I said earlier, my SFTP is not working in locally, so that's why I have just created container, but actually it's SFTP. And I think I have just ran pipeline, so let me delete this. So at the moment there is no data in my SFTP container, but whatever I have configured in database, based on that it will load a data in here. So at the moment is empty. So that is my storage, and this is my database. But let's we first check a config table. So this is my configuration table for a pipeline, and this is for delta load, and this is for email functionality. And these are all table, like this table which is related to business outcome 1, these tables, these three table related to business outcome 2, and this two table is related to business outcome 3. So I have created in same place where I have configuration, but it can be anywhere. It can have a different database, or it can be in Synapse, or it can be in a file as well. So that is there. And let's see this configuration table, how it looks. So this is my configuration table, and you can see that it has a data, and this is a result. So you can see that I have data. So I have a four entries for business outcome 1, because it has a different file name and this different target names, and there are so many other things. And I have a few entries for I think, let me zoom out a bit. So I am looking for this earlier. So here you can see that I have a total 9 records, because I have 4 records for business outcome 1. I have 3 records for business outcome 2, and I have 2 records for business outcome 3, because I have 2 files. I have 3 files here and like that. And you can see here what is your source, what is your sync, if there is any delete conditions, based on which. So here I have ID. So based on this ID column, it doing the delta load, and based on this condition is deleting a data. And here you can see that it delta load or full load. And here you can see that it need all columns or particular columns. And here you can see that the path or a container names or SFTP locations or like that. You can see file extension, and you can see the need email functionality or not. However, this last item, which is need a email functionality, and that is related to rating. Yeah. So this is my config data, and this is a delta load. Um, However, I have already run data, so you will find many datas, like you will find proper data. But when you run first time, After configuring your table, here you have a spec code ID which is 9. This field should be empty, and this date also, previous date when you updated your config first time. But after running your pipeline, you will see that here you have a some different results, like how many row is written, or you have a window date like start date and end date. So here you have two fields, which is window start date and window end date, if you have a date field in your table, actual table. Otherwise you can use a primary key. Okay, so that one, and this is email functionality. So only one pipeline, one item need a email functionality, so you will see here one row. But if you have more than one, then you will see more. So for that is a business outcome 3, and only and only that rating table, which is a delta load and which has a spec code ID 9. And here you can see that other informations. Yeah. So this is a configurable table, and these are the actual table. So when I run business outcome 1, there are 4 tables which should be load, but one table we doing delta load, so sorry, delete operation. So it's not doing anything, but it's just deleting a data from this table which is older than 90 days. Okay, so this is my pipeline. So you can see that I have only one pipeline for business outcome, for all 3 business outcome, or possibly any other new business outcome as well. And this is a child pipeline. Why I need a child pipeline? Because there is one requirements. For example, I have a for each loop. Inside I have a if activity or a switch activity or something like that, then I cannot access the current item from for each loop. So for example, you can see that here, where is it? It's here in settings. So you can see that here I can easily access the current item, which is a for each loop item dot other properties. But if I have here if condition, and inside I will add a copy activity, and inside I would like to access this property, it won't be allow me to access that. So that's why I have that is a one reason. And another reason, for simplicity purpose, I have created child pipeline, and child pipeline have these all parameters, and I am passing this parameter from for each loop. So that is a one tips. So this is a very simple pipeline. Here I have a config. So I'm reading a config from that configuration table, and you can see that here. So I'm selecting data from the configuration table, and if it's a delta load, then I'm getting that main window value and spec code ID from a delta load table as well. That's it. And this one is based on that specific business outcome, like 1, 2, or 3, like business outcome 1, 2, or 3, whatever you passing. Based on that, it will fetch a configuration field from that configuration table. So that is one condition, and you can see that here we are not hard coding anything. So it will give me the config for a business out. Let's run this so you will get idea. So here I'm passing business outcome 001. So it's giving me all configuration related to business outcome 1 from that particular config table and delta load table. Yeah. So that is a one, and then I'm passing those information to for each loop. So you can see that it here. Um, so here I'm passing those information to for each loop, that particular records for that particular business outcome. But here we have 4, I think, for business outcome 1. So it passed 4 records here, and inside we are calling the child pipeline. And in child pipeline, we are passing all required information, like what is the source, what is the sink, what is the where condition, what is a directory or path name, what is a file extension, and many more, what is operation or main window value, like that. And then child pipeline will execute, and child pipeline is only having few things. So it has a switch condition, switch operation or activity. Based on operation, it can have a delta load, full load, delete operation, update operation, or execute store procedure, like that. So based on that operation, it will do something. It maybe do copy, it do delta load, it delete, it update, or execute store procedure, or something like that. And this is for email functionality. So here we checking that do they need email functionality or not. then and then we should run email functionality task, otherwise we don't need. So for that you can see here, first of all let me see what we have in switch. So this is switch, and here you can see that it has a operation which is delta, full, delete or update or those things for that particular item. And then inside its full load, then you can see here it's just copying a data from source to sink. And here you can see that my source is a particular, like I'm storing, like I'm reading the data from this source, and I'm reading from selected fields only. So select select this field from this table. So if it's, you need all field, then there should be a star. So it will select star from this table. Otherwise, you have list of columns, and it will get list of column from that table, config table for that particular item. So, okay, so it's like select from table. It's like that. And so that is a source, and sink is blob storage or SFTP or whatever. And here you can see that I'm saying that use a target name from that particular table, config table for that particular table, and extension. So because I need to save a file, either CSV or anything else based on this condition. So that one for that, and this is for directory path, which can be SFTP location, or it can be blob storage container name or something like that. So it save a file in here, that particular directory, and no need to worry about mapping or anything else. So that is my full load. So if you have a 100 table, then it do 100 time full load. Copy activity run 100 times and do a full load. If you have a delta load, then it come to here in another activity, which is this one. So this is for delta load. So for delta load, you need to do copy, and after that you need to update a watermark. So here we have a minimum Windows start value, but you can have a minimum of the end value, start and end window value. So here you can see that, let's see first a copy. So copy is similar to previous one. So here you can see that you selecting a data from particular frame, from particular table as a source based on this where condition. So here where condition we are using, so first time it will run, here it should be a 0, nothing, null or empty first time. But next time you will run, it have a data. So here we said this one. So for table, that rating table, it has ID as a condition. So here you will get ID which is greater than the main start value, which is 0. So that one, and this is a sync, which is these are the things we already seen. And once it's copy data, it will do a updation here, and it update a table which is a delta load table, and it's update two things. It's update main window start value, but if you have used, then it should be a main value, window value, min or max value, yeah. And it also update a last process timestamp as well for that particular item. So that's it. That's for delta load. And for deletion, it will delete a data. So you can see that here there is a one more condition, which is this, and this is doing delete from table. We have used a script task, and you can see that delete from table, which is a source table, or you can have a target table as well, whatever you have configured, and based on this where condition. That's it. So these are the things, and now it will work for these three pipelines or any business outcome, as new business outcome as well. However, you need to do slightly change if they have some different types, new types. For example, you have a REST API call or something like that. So this is pipeline design, and I think I ran pipeline one, business outcome one, which is here it ran successfully. And if you want to check output, then you can see output. So this is my configuration research. So it have a 4 output. because I have four, and this all information also you can see that, yeah, it's getting all other information as well. And this is the doing full load or delta load or delete operation. So let's see here, PM. So that is a business outcome one. Now if I check here, you will see three files because fourth file have a delete operation. So you can see that date timestamp as well. Okay, so let me run now business outcome 2 with same pipeline. Actually, let's do 3 because that is very similar to first one. So this way I can run pipeline, and actually in real project we are scheduling the pipeline rather than just running manually. So I will create 3 triggers for these 3 pipelines with a different spec code. And if I have a new pipelines in future, then I will create one more. So let's refresh this. Yeah, it's still doing that. So first part is same because I can show you here email functionality as well. And so which pipeline is doing email functionality? Let's check here. It's I think rating one. So yeah, this is the rating one. And if we go to here, you can see that it done delta load, and you can check input and output as well. Um, and then it will do a email functionality as well. So get email details from that particular config table, and then it will send email. However, I haven't created logic apps for that, but this is the one. So let's go to back here. So based on this, we can say what is metadata driven pipeline. So it is a structure or behavior of your pipelines are determined by a metadata. And metadata means data about your data or a business outcome or requirements. It's a structure. So you structure your business outcome in such a way which is like a configuration in a table. It can be SQL database, or it can have a blob storage table or something else. And it contains this main information regarding your business outcome. So let's see a key takeaways for this video. So we have seen a metadata driven approach, and which are very useful and very powerful for engineering your business requirements or structure your business requirements. It helps to save your time, cost, and ultimately increase your productivity. And because of this, you are not doing here any duplication or repetitive task. Human is not doing; it's doing automatically. So there are less chance of human errors. It provides a scalability, reusability, unified your code, consistency you can see in your code, and it give you many more benefits. Like tomorrow new person is join your project, data integration project or engineering project, there are a very less learning curve because you have structured your business requirements in a table form. And this idea you can apply using Synapse data integration pipeline or Microsoft Fabric, or you can apply configuring your SSIS packages if you have in your project or any other engineering project in your organization. So metadata driven approach are very powerful, and it's very useful. Once you have designed it, you have to slightly change when new business outcome comes. So that's it for today's video. I just would like to let you know that if you need a code, then you can find a code in my GitHub for this demo. And I think I have a blog in a Medium. So this is the one. Here you can find step by step how you can create this by your own. And I also have a attached sample data source as well, and there are many other information. So with that, I would like to thank you for watching this video.